Good evening. Once again, good evening. Round three. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Marines, families, partners, and honored guests. My name is Master Gunnery Sergeant Sammy Castro. I have the distinguished honor to serve alongside Lieutenant General Jerry Carter as the Deputy Commandant for Information, and also to stand before you tonight, surrounded by those who represent the very soul of our Marine Corps, those who push boundaries, those who question convention, and those who bring bold ideas to life across every war-fighting domain. So this evening, we gathered together to honor innovative excellence across the full spectrum of our occupational fields. These Marines, our communicators, our analysts, our cyber warriors, electromagnetic warfare specialists, and so many more are not just mastering their craft. They're shaping the future fight. And as the Commandant has said recently, everything that happens is an operation in the information environment. It is daily, global competition. And we know that the battle space has changed. It's not always about bullets or bombs any longer. It's about bandwidth. It's about perception. It's about decision-making at the speed of relevance. We're preparing for a new kind of war, one that happens in the seams between the seen and the unseen, one where the Marine with a keyboard, a sensor, or a signal can shift the tide as powerfully as one with the rifle, but they'll still have that rifle. Tonight, before we present the awards, I invite you to view a short video that our team has produced that captures the essence of this transformation and the mission of the organization that exists under the leadership of the DCI. This is a fight for information, and these are the Marines who will be most ready when our nation calls. Roll the video.
Everything that happens is an operation in the information environment. It's daily global competition.
We are engaging in a new kind of war. One that's right in front of our faces every day. One that's not fought with bullets or bombs. We see it, but don't notice it there. It's not executed like traditional kinetic war, but directly impacts every aspect of it. It can be affected by anyone. It is continuous within humans and machines. This is the information war, where those who exploit information, including data and intelligence, gain advantage. Every action across the competition continuum is the result of a decision. We strive to use technology to outthink, outcompete, and outfight our competitors with better and faster decisions than our enemy by employing a new information warfighting function. Advancing this capability, the Deputy Commandant for Information, also known as the DCI. We're in a battle for information. It's a battle for access to it and use of it. With it, a smaller force can defeat an army. An aircraft can sense the battlefield and everything that it could be. The commander can maneuver a fleet. With it, one holds the upper hand. We are the thinkers, doers, and problem solvers Marines rely upon, enabling them to fight and win the battles of the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to present to you my boss, my battle buddy, and my brother, Lieutenant General Jerry Carter.
That was a good video. That was pretty special. And Master Guns, how fortunate am I to serve alongside? I got the best damn Master Guns senior enlisted advisor on the planet, and his lovely wife, Liz. Thanks, Sammy. Guns. Hey, good evening, folks. I'm honored to be here this evening. A bit humbled, a lot of pressure this evening because this is a phenomenal crowd. We've had a pleasure of having a little bit of dialogue and conversation. I appreciate the mentorship at the head table. And we live in interesting times. I'll just leave it at that. But it's nights like these that really bring us all together to celebrate those phenomenal Marines that we had stand up earlier. It was great interacting with the crowd as I came in, and a pleasure interacting with the families who are incredibly proud of each and every one of you, just as I am. So again, it's a genuine honor to stand before you and spend a little bit of time reflecting. But first, I want to express my sincere appreciation also for the Marine Corps Association and everything that they have done and continue to do for our Marine Corps. It's phenomenal leadership. And I'll tell you, in my wildest dream, right, Sammy? In my wildest dream, I never thought I'd be standing here at the podium co-hosting on this stage. In fact, just 1 year ago, I think we had it at a different venue, but I sat like just about over there, and I was a 1-star. Yeah, embrace it. But at any rate, General Shiroti, he's a great host, and he just was crushing me, as he always does. He called me Melvin in public. Yeah, that one hurt. And man, I was steaming. But I was a 1-star. And I couldn't punch back. And I said, yes, sir, I served 2 bags full. For 364 years or days, I've been waiting to get to this podium to give it right back to him. So now I can stand here and go, listen, Chuck. And I'll tell you, I've been waiting for a whole year to tell him, to give him the business. And so this is what I want to say to you. Sir, thanks for your leadership over the many years. We're grateful for your time in uniform, the things that you've done for not only our Corps, but for our families. And now that you've taken off the uniform, you continue to demonstrate excellence. So on behalf of our DCI family, to not only you as the CEO and president of this great organization, and your supporting cast, Ms. Leanne Mitchell, are you here? Quietly behind the scene. Folks, please, another round of applause. General, you also highlighted a couple of my friends in the group. Again, General Henry's not here. It's been a phenomenal week. We had an opportunity to farewell General Seeley last week. It was pretty awesome. He can't make it tonight. As you know, he is now transitioning and leading the Corps of Cadets. Pretty awesome. He sent me a picture this morning. A number of good friends. General Wilburn's here. My good friend, General Matos. Jay, thanks for you and your lovely wife for joining us, but there's so many others and I can't count them all. Some of my old mob bosses and mentors as well, to include Master Guns Jerry Fallis. It's great to see him. And then folks like Stick Rudder and Chick Rideout, thank you. And my C4 mentors, General Crawl, sir, thanks. General Thomas, Layla Gardner, and I could go on. But for the family here, the DCI family, these are the people that continue to come out year and year again for nothing more but to support you. So thank you very much. I also want an opportunity to say thanks to our industry partners, for all of us that come here every year, some just to get a meal. Don't lie, we know who you are. We would not be able to enjoy an evening like this without the tremendous support from all of you. So if I can, I'd like to give a round for our industry partners as well. And then finally, a special thanks to our awardees tonight. I had an opportunity to spend a little bit of time as we came into the ballroom this evening. And I told them, I pressed a coin on each one of them, because in my book, Master Guns, our book, you can't have a coin, but you can certainly earn a coin. I asked Master Guns for a coin. He told me I didn't earn one yet, so I don't have one. But for all of you, it's just eye-watering. We won't go through all the citations tonight. We don't have that time. But you can read through them, and I'll tell you, I mean, humbling. And so to the awardees, to you and your families that support them, thank you for being here as well. So as you know, I took the seat on August 1st, and I'm not quite a year into it, but I spent some time reflecting, observing, doing an assessment of the community, and well-informed. Some difficult times ahead, but no kidding, from where we started from, our journey, 2016-17, the vision, many of us couldn't see it at that time, to where we are today, we've come a long way. We've come a long way. And if you would have talked about this community back in like 2015, I mean, you couldn't really understand it. And it really was up to some pioneers to really advise the community, the Marine Corps, on the North Star, where we needed to go. And so as I provided my assessment to the Commandant, I was pleased to report that, well, sir, we're not everything that we want to be today, but thank goodness we're not everything that we were yesterday. And so you saw the video that really describes the environment that we live in on a day-to-day basis and how we need to posture for the future fight. And as I focus the team on my priorities, our focus areas really start with number one, talent. It's the people that run this organization that we really need to continue to invest in that really will win the day in tomorrow's fight. The second focus area is obviously tech, and that's where all of our industry partners come in. You know, we have Marines to do a couple things. I mean, break things and really win wars. And some of the areas where we're not good at, we don't want to be good at that. That's where we need to leverage our industry partners. So thanks again. And then the final thing is teamwork. Not just teamwork for industry, academic world, but the partnerships all over the world, our coalition partners, because there is no fight that we will go in where we'll do it alone. As we reflect on this community and we really ascend upon the objective tonight to spend some time celebrating the successes of all of you, it's helpful to sit back and think about where we come from. So I'd like to just spend a few moments introducing my guest of honor. And so there's a reason that I reached back and chose the guest of honor very carefully. We chose the guest of honor very carefully. And sometimes you meet a leader in your life, they're a little bit different. They are visionary. It's a type of leader that they can actually see around corners. And the frustrating for all of us is that we can't see what they can see, but they can actually see around a corner, and they relentlessly drive the community to the next level. And that's exactly what General Reynolds was called to do. As I settled into the seat, it was Master Guns that bought me some documents that had Major General Reynolds on it. And when she got the call, to really chart the path for this community, it was a daunting task. Some of us would said, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I'm good where I'm at. But she was not going to accept the status quo. And it was her vision that brought to the forefront what we enjoy today, the Deputy Commandant of Information. She's been a coach, a teacher, and mentor to me, even when I didn't know it. She's helped me grow up. I really attribute my opportunity to grow as a general officer to very few, but she leads the pack. When it was time for me to put on 3 stars, I made 2 phone calls. One was to General Stewart's wife, and she flew in and pinned one side. The other side was pinned on by my mentor. So General Reynolds, thanks for accepting our invitation to be here tonight. We look forward to your comments. Ladies and gentlemen, my mentor, our friend, ma'am, welcome home, General Reynolds.
Well, good evening, everybody. It is so many friendly faces, but I apologize, my back is to you guys. It's really, really, really good to be back amongst all of you again. And again, just so many people from my past. I haven't been back to one of these dinners since I retired. So General Carter, General Cerroti, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Look, people ask me all the time how I'm enjoying retirement, and I tell them I don't miss a Pentagon. No way. Or the work, or the burden I felt to get something done in those last 3 years in uniform, but I sure do miss the people. That's for sure. Listen, to the awardees tonight, congratulations to all of you. Your recognition tells me all I need to know about your passion for innovation or leadership or hard work. So just keep pushing, keep pressing. The Corps needs you to keep doing whatever it was that you did that got you in this room tonight. Don't be afraid to be bold, and we need your continued example. For the sponsors of those awards, to our industry partners, General Carter, I think, was very articulate about how important it is that in this fight especially, that we continue to have strong industry partnerships. So thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for your support of these Marines and our Corps. And to the commands and the leaders who are here tonight with your Marines. You know, the fact that you took the time to acknowledge your people through this entire awards process speaks volumes to me about the way that you lead. Our people don't ask very much from us. Sometimes just a head nod or a fist bump is enough to keep somebody going the rest of their career. But the fact that we have commanders who wrote these awards up and in some cases may be here, and I love you for it. Thank you. And finally, to you, General Cerroti, to you and the Marine Corps Association, to Leanne, all your heroes that do this, just thank you for all that you continue to do for our Corps. Okay, so folks, when General Carter asked me to provide some remarks tonight, I asked around to see what it was that this group may need to hear. You know, where are we in this information fight? You know, what are the things that, you know, there's some mystery about how we got here, and so let me unpack that for just a little bit. It's been almost a decade now, about 8 years since we started thinking about this information fight. And I was around for most of it. Some of you here in this room, Dennis Crowell, Mike Groen, you are just as responsible for where we are today as anybody else. So keep me honest. So let's, I think tonight what we'll do is we'll review the theory of the case very quickly, how we got here, and then we'll finish with where we go from here. And by we, I mean you, but I'm going to be cheering for you. So let's talk about the theory of the case. Is this information function and fight a real thing? Has it turned out to be the challenge and the opportunity we thought it would be? Well, yes, yes, and yes. Great power competition continues to intensify, but great powers will avoid great power warfare. The cyber and space domains have enabled global reach, global influence, and global competition, and so that challenges our understanding of battle-space geometry. They're just different, and they allow us and our adversaries to challenge us in different ways. And no one wants to fight the United States in a fair fight. And hence this continued rise of cognitive warfare, a comprehensive assault on human cognition. And whether you're focused on technical kill webs that enable the joint force or a comprehensive assault on how we think and what we know, that change is only intensifying. We've seen cyber attacks, prepositioning on critical infrastructure, attacks on underwater cables connecting the world. We've seen counter space capabilities and spectrum denial fully employed. We've seen influence campaigns at the nation-state level. The fight is intense, and it's not going away. Last year at FCO West, Admiral Sam Paparo said, we're in the middle of another epochal change, and that is the dawn, and I do mean the dawn, of the information revolution. Who competes best in this, who adapts better, who is better able to combine data, computing power, AI, and who could win the first battle, likely in space, cyber, and the information domain, shall prevail. And in his posture statement, just last month, he said, because deterrence is at the center of the command's mission, and this is Indo-PACOM, the joint force must build the link between desired information effects and physical OAIs to assure adversary cognition of U.S. capability and will. And that requires integrating the full spectrum of capabilities into every exercise and operation conducted in this theory. And ladies and gentlemen, I can just tell you that in 2018, when we created the Deputy Commandant for Information, there was no four-star commander talking about the information environment. But here we are today, and it's a real thing. So while I suppose there may still be some holdouts on whether the information function is worthy of our attention and resources, I encourage you to just stay focused and to stay ready. I believe the information battlefield is one of the most important and active battlefields in modern conflict and competition. Likewise, the information element of power is also increasingly important to our national security. Now, most of us were raised to understand the four elements of national power: diplomacy, information, the military, and the economy. And we were taught that there are vertical pillars, each one managed in concert with the others by the president's administration. My theory today is that model is no longer accurate. My theory is that the four elements are more accurately visualized as a pyramid. Information is the base of the pyramid. In it is our values, our narratives around our democratic form of government, our ability to communicate those values, and globally through free and independent space and cyber-enabled networks, the press and our intelligence apparatus. It is the foundation for all other elements of power. Just above that is our economic element of power. It's dependent on the global reach of information power. Above that is the military instrument, which cannot be strengthened without a strong economy or the elements of information power, which give military power legitimacy and credibility worldwide. And above that is the diplomatic element. And my point, again, is that information is the foundation of all other elements of national power. And I am happy to debate any of you on this. I would win either way. Even if I lost the debate, if you wanted to talk about it, at least you're thinking about it. Because I do think that times have changed. And I do think that the way we think about power and exercising power is changing. So were we right to invest in the information function? to generate, preserve, deny, and protect information. Yeah, we were right. But how did we get here? Here's the short answer to this. You know, it started for me, Jerry, I was a 1-star in OSD policy. I really enjoyed, I was a poli-sci major. I don't know how I made it to DCI. I'm a poli-sci English history person. But I was sitting in OSD policy as a 1-star in 2014, and General Dunford called. And he said, Lori, I'm going to send you up to Fort Meade. I want you to figure out what in the world the Marine Corps is doing in cyberspace. I said, okay, sir. Aye, aye, on my way. Soon after that, General Dunford became the chairman. General Neller became the commandant. General Neller is the guy who wanted to explore the ideas that were circulating around information warfare. And he understood back then in 2015, 2016 timeframe that the importance of information warfare was growing quickly, enabled by cyberspace and space. And he used to say, we're going to have to fight to get to the fight. We're going to have to fight to just get our forces out the gate. He understood both the technical and the cognitive side of this fight. He asked CD&I to study the issue. And so in that capacity, as CG Marfor Cyber, I also assisted CD&I in this study, and I was dual-headed as the Assistant Deputy Commandant for Information Warfare. And we studied that issue for about a year. We came up with a variety of COAs to address this information warfare, figure out how to get organized. Then General Neller commissioned a more comprehensive assessment of the force across all of the warfighting functions, and that was Force Design 2025. And many of you in this room perhaps participated on either the Scarlet or the Gold team. How many people here? Scarlet team, Gold team? We had hundreds of Marines who were trying to think through how do we fight in the modern era. And I very clearly remember sitting in a conference room with about, Dennis, you remember this. Mike Groen was there too. There were about 13 or 14 1-stars. We took these COAs and we developed the force that became the adjusted force for Force Design 2030, but that's when we built the MIGs. That's when we created the MEF information groups. And it took in all of the information from the ADCIW study. It incorporated this growing knowledge. Secretary Mattis, very soon after that, created information as a warfighting function. And all of that came out in Force Design 2025. And so soon after that, General Neller went to Congress, and he knew that we needed some advocacy at the 3-star level for this warfighting function. DCI was created. General Dan O'Donohue was the first DCI. He was an infantryman. About 9 months he spent there, and then I came in. And then COVID hit, and that sucked. But as we were getting organized at DCI, we took stock of the facts, some facts and assumptions, and I share these today because it's important that you continue to review the assumptions that we made back then. What we knew at the time was that on the technical side, cloud technology would change the way we shared information. High velocity computing power, and with it, the advent of AI, would change the speed of decision making. We knew that data would be the currency of the next fight, and we had to get organized in order to lay the foundations for fighting with data. We knew that cyber would get harder and that space would be increasingly relevant for the kind of networking, intel, and over-the-horizon targeting capabilities we needed. And with Force Design 2030, we worked harder on technologies and capabilities for that C5ISR, counter C5ISR fight. We knew that the ability to maneuver in spectrum would be required as spectrum was increasingly contested. And what I also knew, because of my experience as a commo, that there was not nearly enough coordination between the intelligence community and the communications community at the headquarters Marine Corps level. And so when you understand that speed is an increasing factor in influencing the evolution of data, to process data, to knowledge and then understanding, you have to encourage closer innovation, problem solving for better C2 and warfighting outcomes. And that was one of the biggest challenges we had at DCI, was how do I get C4 and intel working more closely together, how to get them to share their understanding, their planning, their strategy from a foundational perspective. On the cognitive side, I believed then, and I still do, that the cognitive fight would be increasingly important. I did not expect to see what we're seeing today happen so quickly, quite frankly. We are adrift today in mis and disinformation, fake news, us versus them dynamics inside our own nation. Truth is very difficult to discern. You have to hunt for it. Ladies and gentlemen, the noise is weakening our country. By the way, our Marines are not immune to that influence, and I'll get back to that later. Inside the Corps, I spent some quality time at MCA trying to understand the evolution of the influence community and the need to preserve the experience of that small community. We all spent a lot of time discussing influence campaigns, ways to tie together the work of the teams in ways that were measurable and not disconnected tactical actions, and I hope that work continues. We believe that cyber would increasingly be used in ways to deter our actions, to delay decision-making, and to influence public will to fight. Today, we see Salt and Volt Typhoon playing out. Indeed, our adversaries are only getting better and more provocative. But I also know, General Matos is sitting right here, that the Corps' contribution to the joint force in cyberspace is immense. It was for all of these reasons why it became very clear that we needed a professional cyberspace and influence community which could continue to advance in talent and experience. And the work to dedicate Marines in those skill sets has had and will continue to have an outsized impact on the joint force. But their ability to work together over time is where the real advantage will play out. Here's a quick observation for you in terms of the technologies and the cognitive side. One of the things I do in retirement is I sit on the board of a major bank. The bank is very good at cyber defense. But what happened a couple of years ago when Silicon Valley Bank failed was an important lesson in how the cognitive and the technical worlds conspire to destabilize our nation. Let me explain this. So Silicon Valley Bank failed in 2023 when, because of rising interest rates, it was forced to sell its treasury bond portfolio at a loss to create more liquidity. The action of selling so many bonds at a loss triggered a bank run, as the bank's clients quickly withdrew their deposits and moved their funds to larger banks. But what distinguished this bank run was the speed of the run, enabled by better mobile applications, mobile banking, where accounts can be created and closed in seconds. And I remember thinking how vulnerable our financial industry can be to the cognitive space. Where are there places in warfighting where the cognitive and the technical come together to create risks or opportunities? What we believe, how we view the world, how identity shapes our bias and our perceptions are all increasingly important in this hyper-connected world. And as we continue to think through ways where the information function can lead deterrence activities, I would begin with a study of those questions. By the way, starting any journey that requires this much change is difficult, and I'm sure that some of the decisions I or my team made as DCI were poorly understood at the time, and that's on me. And while I knew that building the information function was important and building the cyber community was essential, my conversations with the intel and the communication communities weren't always happy ones. Change is hard, as I've said. When we started with this information journey, we guessed at some things, and there's some things we knew. It wasn't always easy to get Marines who were very comfortable talking about history and lethality to believe that any investment in things like influence or space or even cyber would be worth it. My guess is that there are still people out there who identify as non-believers, and that's fine. That doesn't mean the journey isn't worth the fight, and it is a journey. We knew back in 2018 that what we were doing was just a start. You know, when the MEF headquarters groups turned their sign around and renamed themselves the MEF information groups, they did so with no doctrine, No additional kit provided by Headquarters Marine Corps, no processes, only an idea, and the promise of additional capabilities in the future. We just asked that they get started, and they did, and some of the commanders are in this room. We had the right commanders at the right time to turn ideas into capability that in some ways was unique to the MEF they served, and that was fine. Over time, I would expect that more and more best practices will be added, more kit will be provided, more partners included, but I urge you to continue to organize for innovation and speed. I don't think the MIGs will ever be truly FOC. The change is just too continuous. The key is to keep educating, experimenting, improving processes through simulations and training. I also think process will trump individual heroics on most days. The key is that this information community of warfighters continue to challenge assumptions and create high-performing teams to drive the change. All of this to say, ladies and gentlemen, that this information function is a work in progress. It's not done. Challenge what's been done. That's fair and healthy, but do so from an attitude of refining or correcting our assumptions in ways that make us all better in the end. Let me leave you with a couple thoughts on some fundamentals of this information competition. On the technical side, as you're delivering systems overmatch and force resiliency, fundamental number one is that everybody fights. I remember talking to General Bill Bowers one day in the hallway. And for those of you who know General Bowers, he's a voracious leader and a brilliant thinker, and he said to me, "Ma'am, I get it. In cyberspace, we're in our Bella Wood moment." He had been reading about how the Marine Corps adopted the Springfield rifle in 1909 and began to emphasize marksmanship in recruit training. This was the beginning of every Marine a rifleman. The result was that in 1918, at Bella Wood, a battle that shaped Marine history and prestige as a resilient, deadly force, the Marines could hit targets at much greater range than the Germans. So what should we be thinking about now to prepare us for a much different fight in the cyber or information space? What skills do we need all Marines to master? But every Marine must fight. Fundamental 2, data is everything, but governance over that data is a bigger everything. How you organize to collect, process, store, manage, and protect data is essential, and the task of governing should never be delegated to the lowest levels. Folks, this is senior leader level decision making. We should be organized to make decisions about data with the same importance we give to our resource management and our POM process. It's that important. Fundamental 3, training and education like camouflage is continuous. Simulations matter, training matters, wargaming matters, language and culture matter. But again, while I appreciate every ninja master guns that you're creating, I'm a bigger advocate for refined processes that ensure that we have covered all of the capabilities in the information fight. Fundamental 4, partnerships matter. General Carter mentioned this. Authorities matter. Permissions matter. Information is a team sport. Industry matters. Think globally, act locally, and don't allow service dogma or habits to get in the way of progress, because a win is a win. Fundamental 5, you're never done modernizing the network. You're never done. Build the team you need. Operators, resource sponsors, acquisition expert, have a plan, execute the plan, keep moving with both hands on the wheel. Fundamental 6, intelligence powers the information fight. There will be no end to the places we must search for accurate intelligence, and there is nothing else we do inside the information functions that won't rely on intelligence. How we organize that idea will matter. Fundamental 7, you must understand how you acquire cognition across all of the other functions. Then you have to protect that. Adversaries study how we process and understand information. They will induce friction to give them positional advantage. This is maneuver in the information space, and we have to do the same. Fundamental 8, the truth matters in the cognitive fight. This is why Comstrat is such an important part of information. They're on the front lines. But telling local stories locally is probably not the way to do this. Like influence, we should be campaigning with truth across all the MEFs and across the COCOMs. There are prevailing narratives for tactical situations, to be sure, and there are prevailing narratives to expose adversary malign behavior, build the coalition, protect strength, and build support and momentum in the competition. We need change in this area. Fundamental 9, the geometry of space, cyber, and through them information is different. Don't allow lines on a map to constrain your thinking. Fundamental 10, finally, trust matters. In order to lead with truth, we must be trusted by our friends, by our partners, by our own Marines. There's been a lot of discussion on lethality in this administration. I get it. But in this all-volunteer force, with so much noise and disinformation around us, what really makes a trained force lethal is its willingness to go when you say go. There will be many distractions for your Marines, some natural, and some as a result of targeted campaigns to question your mission, your leadership, or your motive. But when the order is given to go, your Marines must listen and trust the sound of only your voice. And that requires everyday maintenance and effort to build trust. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the opportunity. General Carter, thanks again for the opportunity to be with you tonight. What you're doing for our Corps, for our nation is important. Is that a burden for you? Yeah, it is. American people are counting on its Marines to get this right. So be bold now. Make it better every day, because history's watching. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Information Awards Ceremony, where we will recognize superb performance of the Marines, civilian Marines, and units from the information community. Joining Lieutenant General Reynolds on stage is Lieutenant General Carter and Lieutenant General Shiroti for the presentation of the Information Awards. And Master Gunnery Sergeant Castro. Our first award this evening is the Lieutenant General Vincent R. Stewart Intelligence Unit of the Year Award. Thank you to Mantech for sponsoring the award. We invite Representative Colonel Sean McBride, United States Marine Corps retired, to the stage for the presentation of the award. The recipient of the Intelligence Unit of the Year Award is and supporting commanders with actionable insights. The next award is the Lieutenant Colonel Michael Kazuski, Marine Corps Intelligence Officer of the Year Award. Thank you to Lockheed Martin for sponsoring the award. We would now like to invite Lieutenant General Steve Rudder, retired, to the stage for the presentation of this award. Roger. The recipient of the Lieutenant Colonel Kazuski Award is Chief Warrant Officer 3 Tuan Nguyen from the 3rd Marine Littoral Regiment. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Nguyen delivered exceptional leadership and innovation as the senior intelligence analyst for the 3rd Marine Littoral Regiment. His creation of a tailored training pipeline and operational success during deployment significantly advanced intelligence capabilities across Marine and Joint Forces. The next award this evening is the John Gunther Marine Corps Intelligence Civilian of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Mantech and JCTM, and we now invite their representative, Mr. Audie Cooper, to the stage for the presentation. The recipient of this year's Gunther Award is Mr. Victor Reyes from 700 Combat Support Team. Mr. Reyes led groundbreaking intelligence analysis supporting complex cyberspace operations at Marforce Cyber. His innovative solutions and mentorship significantly advanced mission success and strengthened the cyber intelligence community. Now presenting the Master Gunnery Sergeant Samuel Plott, Marine Corps Intelligence Staff Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award. This year's Lance Corporal James E. Swain Enlisted Intelligence Marine of the Year Award is sponsored by Innovative Reasoning. Representing the sponsor, we now invite Mr. Rob Robertson to the stage for the presentation of the award. The recipient of the Lance Corporal Swain Award is Lance Corporal Carl R. Brooks, 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit. DCI will accept the award on behalf of Lance Corporal Brooks, who was unable to attend today. Lance Corporal Brooks played a key role in supporting the 31st MEWS operations by leading intelligence efforts and producing critical briefings during patrols. His initiative and professionalism were vital to maintaining the MEWS operational tempo, and rapid response capabilities in the Pacific. Next, we recognize the Meteorology and Oceanography Marine of the Year Award. Sponsored by Forterra, we now welcome Mr. Christian Seifert to the stage to present the award. The winner of the METOC Marine of the Year Award is Sergeant Manuel A. Lopez Chavez, Headquarters Marine Corps Air Station, Headquarters Marine Corps Air Station, Iwakuni. Sergeant Lopez Chavez demonstrated exceptional dedication by overhauling key METOC programs, delivering nearly 1,000 training hours that led to new Marine qualifications and producing over 1,000 forecast products with a 99.14% quality control rating. His technical expertise and leadership earned him multiple major qualifications and distinguished performance in various roles supporting both garrison and operating forces. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the Intelligence Award recipients. We now continue this evening's events by recognizing the exceptional accomplishments of those who have distinguished themselves in the communications sector. Our next award is the Lieutenant Colonel Kevin M. Shea Memorial Unit of the Year Award. We're honored to have this award sponsored by L3 Harris, and we now invite their representative, Mr. Dario Valli, to the stage for the presentation. The winner of the Lieutenant Colonel Shea Award is Marine Wing Communication Squadron 18. The Marine Wing Communication Squadron 18 is recognized for its outstanding performance in 2024, delivering resilient expeditionary communications across the Indo-Pacific in support of joint and multinational operations. Through innovative integration of emerging technologies and execution of over 25 major exercises and operations, Marine Wing Communication Squadron 18 set a benchmark for excellence in command and control across the Fleet Marine Force. Accepting the award on behalf of Marine Wing Communication Squadron 18 is Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Soder, Sergeant Major Gustavo Hernandez, Master Sergeant Giuseppe Furio, and Major Caleb Wu. The next award of this evening is the General Alfred M. Gray Award. This award is sponsored by Q Intel, and we now invite their representative, Colonel John Polidoro, United States Marine Corps retired, to the stage for the presentation. The 2024 General Alfred M. Gray Award is presented to Captain Ruben I. Pantoja of Marine Wing Communication Squadron 38 for his exceptional leadership, advancing joint all-domain command and control capabilities across the Indo-Pacific. Through his direction of Project Convergence 24, major exercise support, and the establishment of Charlie Company, Captain Pantoja established secure, real-time multi-domain communications that sets the standard for interoperability across the Fleet Marine Force. Next is the presentation of the Chief Warrant Officer 5, Brian Joe Graniero Restricted Officer Communications Award. Sponsoring this award is Linchpin Solutions. We would now like to invite Mr. Eddie Pena, CEO of Linchpin Solutions, and representing the Graniero family, Lieutenant Colonel Scott Graniero, son of Chief Warrant Officer 5, Brian Joe Graniero, to the stage for the presentation of this award. The winner of the Chief Warrant Officer 5 Graniero Award is Chief Warrant Officer 3, Benjamin M. Yankovic of the United States Marine Corps Forces, Europe. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Yankovic led innovative communication solutions across Europe and Africa, including deploying Starlink terminals and enhancing command and control networks. His technical expertise and leadership greatly improved Marine Corps network resiliency and operational readiness in a critical theater. Up next is the James Hamilton Information Technology Management Civilian of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Persistent Systems, and we now invite their representative, Mr. Hunter Harding, to the stage for the presentation. The winner of the James Hamilton Award is Mr. Jonathan Thompson of Marine Corps Cyberspace Operations Group, Marine Force Cyberspace. Mr. Thompson is recognized for his outstanding leadership as branch head of the Marine Corps Red Team, Marine Corps Cyberspace Operations Group. During his direction, the NSA certified Red Team conducted 24 critical assessments across the Marine Corps and DoD, significantly advancing cyber readiness and reinforcing the security of mission essential systems across the Joint Force. The next award is the Littleton Non-Commissioned Officer Award for Operational Communications Excellence. This award is sponsored by Intelsat and SES Space and Defense, and we would like to invite Mr. Kevin Kelly and Mr. G. Ramos Carr to the stage for the presentation of the award. The winner of the PFC Littleton NCO Award for Communication Excellence is Sergeant Trevor J. Wolf, 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Sergeant Wolf enhanced 24th MU communications by expertly managing critical data systems and networks. His leadership and technical skills directly supported joint operations and strategic mission success. Our next award is the PFC Littleton Staff Non-Commissioned Officer Award for Operational Communications Excellence, sponsored by Collins Aerospace. We would like to invite Mr. Lanny Merkel for the presentation of the award. The 2024 PFC Herbert A. Littleton Staff Non-Commissioned Officer Award for Communications Excellence is presented to Gunnery Sergeant Bostic of the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit for his exceptional leadership in establishing resilient and secure communication architectures during 2 Indo-Pacific deployments. His efforts enabled command and control across multiple network domains, supporting critical MAGTF missions and ensuring uninterrupted communications during real-world operations and exercises. DCI will accept this award on behalf of Gunnery Sergeant Bostic, who is unable to attend today. Our next award is the PFC Littleton Non-Commissioned Officer Award for Electronics Maintenance Excellence. This award, sponsored by FCN Incorporated, being represented by Mr. Rich Neer, whom we now invite to the stage for the presentation of this award. The winner of the PFC Littleton NCO Award for Comm Electronics Maintenance is Sergeant Lucas A. Camacho, 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit. Sergeant Camacho demonstrated exceptional initiative and technical skill by designing and installing critical satellite communication systems for the 24th MU. His innovative solutions improved joint capabilities, saved costs, and set a new standard for inter-service collaboration and maintenance excellence. Next is the presentation of the Littleton Staff Non-Commissioned Officer Award for Electronics Maintenance Excellence. Representing our co-sponsors for the award are Brigadier General John Thomas, United States Marine Corps retired, from the Brigadier General John Thomas Trust, and Mr. Kyle Dewar from Tanium. The winner of the PFC Littleton Staff NCO Award for Comm Electronics Maintenance is Gunnery Sergeant Jack L. Hubbard, Marine Wing Communication Squadron 18. Gunnery Sergeant Hubbard advanced electronics maintenance across 3MEF by developing in-house repair capabilities and leading cross-unit training. His leadership and innovation enhanced readiness, reduced external dependencies, and strengthened command and control across the Indo-Pacific region. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for the Communications Award recipients. As we continue this evening's celebration, we will now recognize those who have demonstrated remarkable excellence in the area of information. Now presenting the Information Unit of the Year Award. We thank COLSA for sponsoring the award, and I now invite their representative, Mr. Jerry Reed, to the stage for the presentation. The winner of the Information Unit of the Year Award is 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit. The 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit is recognized for its outstanding contributions to the information domain during its 2024 Western Pacific deployment. Through 23 information-related operations across multiple lines of effort, the 15th MU enhanced electromagnetic awareness and strengthened allied partnerships. Accepting the award on behalf of the 15th MU is Captain Kristen Enzenauer, Major Drake Toney, First Lieutenant Alexa McDonald, Master Sergeant Christopher Renteria, and Sergeant Brendan Donlin. Next, we recognize the Cyberspace Warfare Officer of the Year Award. We're grateful to Spry Methods for their support, and we now invite their representative, Mr. Stuart Nachman, to the stage to present the award. The Cyberspace Warfare Officer of the Year is First Lieutenant Marco McGavick, 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit. First Lieutenant McGavick, 2024 Cyberspace Warfare Officer of the Year, led innovative cyber operations that enhanced the 24th MU's mission readiness. His leadership and technical expertise set a new standard for future deployments. Next up is the Cyberspace Restricted Officer of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Curtis Wright, and we now invite their representative, Mr. Brian Mosley, to the stage for the presentation of this award. The Information Warfare Restricted Officer of the Year is Chief Warrant Officer 3, Zachary DeLong of the Marine Corps Forces Cyberspace Command, who is recognized for his exceptional leadership and technical expertise in strengthening the capabilities of the Cyber Protection Team 2. His contributions to cyber defense, training development, and strategic engagement with foreign partners have significantly advanced Marine Corps readiness and supported U.S. national security objectives. Now presenting the Information Civilian of the Year Award. We'd like to thank SVCG for sponsoring this award, and I now invite the representative, Mr. Matt Brewster, to the stage for the presentation. The Information Civilian of the Year Award is Mr. Nicholas Cheek from Combat Mission Team 1, Marine Corps Forces Cyberspace Command. Mr. Cheek led key cyber operations and attacks, advancing U.S. Cyber Command's mission. His efforts in targeting adversary networks and training future operators greatly strengthen national cyber defense. Up next is the Cyberspace Warfare Enlisted Marine of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Leidos, and we're pleased to welcome Mr. Tom Quigley to the stage to present the award. The Cyberspace Warfare Enlisted Marine of the Year is Corporal Patrick Young, Information Group 1 MEF. Corporal Young demonstrated exceptional skill and leadership in cyber defense operations with 9th Communication Battalion. His forensic analysis, training efforts, and integration of next-gen tools greatly enhance 1MEF's cyber capabilities and operational readiness. Next up is the Cyberspace Warfare Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Knowledge Management, and we're pleased to welcome their representative, Brigadier General David Reist, United States Marine Corps, retired, to the stage for the presentation of the award. The Cyberspace Warfare NCO of the Year Award is presented to Sergeant Thomas W. Campbell of the 700th Combat Support Team, Marine Corps Forces Cyberspace Command, for his exceptional intelligence analysis and innovation in support of Joint Task Force initiatives. As a senior digital network exploitation analyst and mentor, his pioneering collection strategies and training efforts have significantly advanced cyberspace operations and set a lasting standard for future generations of cyber Marines. The Cyberspace Warfare Staff Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award. This award is sponsored by Class Government. Representing Class Government, please welcome Mr. Clay Coppernoll to the stage for the presentation of the award. The 2024 Cyberspace Warfare Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award is presented to Gunnery Sergeant Zachary T. Young, Marine Corps Cryptologic Support Battalion, for his unmatched contributions to strategic cyberspace operations in support of NSA and U.S. Cybercom. Through 146 successful operations, mentorship across the 1721 community, and numerous cryptographic achievements, Gunnery Sergeant Young has elevated the Marine Corps' impact in the cyber domain. Now presenting the Maritime Space Officer of the Year Award. We appreciate the continued support of Viasat in making this recognition possible. We would now like to invite their representative, Mr. Jim Robinson, to the stage for the presentation of the award. The 2025 Maritime Space Officer of the Year Award is presented to Lieutenant Colonel Jamison S. Payne, Marine Corps Forces Space Command, for his pivotal role in advancing Marine Corps space operations through the fielding of electromagnetic reconnaissance system and development of space planning and space effects teams. His leadership and expertise have been instrumental in integrating space capabilities into the Joint Force, shaping the future of Marine Corps operations in the Indo-Pacific and beyond. The next award is the Influence Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award. We extend our sincere thanks to Strategic Resilience Group for sponsoring this award, and we now invite their representative, Mr. Pat Simon, to the stage for the presentation of the award. The Influence NCO of the Year is Sergeant Jason Frink, Assistant Chief of Staff for G39, Training and Doctrine, and G6, Communications and Information Systems. Sergeant Frink received this award for his outstanding impact while serving on the Philippines Military Information Support Team. His efforts in strengthening interagency coordination, advising senior leaders, and enabling critical civil-military operations, including humanitarian aid and information flow during crisis events, significantly advanced U.S. objectives and regional partnerships in the Indo-Pacific. Up next is the Influence Staff Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award. We'd like to extend our thanks to Leidos for their generous sponsorship. Please welcome Mr. Tom Pierce to the stage for the presentation. The Influence Staff Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year Award is presented to Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan N. Padilla of 3rd Marine Littoral Regiment for his transformative leadership in expanding a small information maneuver cell into a full spectrum capability across the Indo-PACOM theater. By integrating advanced influence tactics, mentoring junior Marines, and leading over 50 civil affairs operations across northern Luzon and the Philippines, Gunnery Sergeant Padilla directly advanced Force Design 2030 and significantly enhanced 3MEF's ability to shape the information environment. The next award is the Influence Officer of the Year Award. Thank you to Mantech for sponsoring this award. We'd now like to invite their representative, Colonel Brian Rideout, United States Marine Corps retired, to the stage for the presentation. The Influence Officer of the Year Award is presented to Major Ainsley R. White for her exceptional leadership in expanding influence activities across the First Island chain. As the detachment officer in charge for Influence Company, 3MEF Information Group, she strengthened U.S.-Japan coordination, built an advisor team for an Indo-Pacific Joint Task Force, and initiated the first ever engagement with a partner forces, Marine, PSYOP, and civil affairs elements, advancing U.S. objectives and elevating the influence community's reputation across the Joint Force. Now presenting the Marine Corps Information Environment Enterprise Technical Leadership Award, sponsored by Amazon Web Services. Please join me in welcoming the representative, Mr. Ian McDuffie, to the stage for the presentation. The recipient of the Marine Corps Information Environment Enterprise Technical Leadership Award is Mr. Charles Jones, Combat Element Information Division, for his exceptional leadership in advancing technical capabilities across the information environment. As a driving force behind enterprise modernization efforts, Mr. Jones strengthened and positively affected information operations in support of warfighting objectives across the Marine Corps. Accepting this award on his behalf are Mr. Charles Jones' sons, Parker and Spencer Jones. And for our final award tonight, we present the Marine Corps Information Environment Enterprise Innovation Award. Thank you to BAE Systems Incorporated for sponsoring it. We now invite their representative, Mr. Joe Kerr, to the stage for the presentation. The Marine Corps Information Environment Enterprise Innovation Award is presented to the Marine Corps Software Factory for its pioneering efforts in developing advanced software solutions that directly address critical operational gaps across the force. Through initiatives that enhance situational awareness, improved interoperability, and accelerated digital modernization, McSwift has reshaped how the Marine Corps leverages information as a warfighting function. Accepting the award is Lieutenant Colonel Charlie Bach, Master Sergeant Jeffrey Averett, and Gunnery Sergeant Derek Profit. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a round of applause for our Influence Marines. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our awards for the night. Let's give our awardees another round of applause.
Hey, folks, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank again General Schroeder and your team. Also, the captain for being an awesome narrator, and my staff as well. The general recognized them. He recognized them by name, but Mr. Rodriguez, where you at? Angel, is he here? He just probably stepped out. But Angel is a new join to our team, thanks to General Henry, JDA from DIA, but I wanted to give him a shout out. And then finally, General Reynolds, wow, I feel like I went to school tonight. Remarkable remarks. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoy your evening. I'm going to turn it back over to General Schroeder, but please, for my mentor, one more round of applause.
I was thinking about General Carter's speech, and I really feel bad that he waited 365 days to have to come talk to me about something that I said then. Oh, well. So, Jerry, thank you. Thank you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, it truly has been a remarkable evening, capped off by General Reynolds' just phenomenal speech. Thank you so much. I know that Colonel Woodward behind you, editor of the Gazette, is looking forward to you and him talking together and hopefully enlightening the Gazette further with your articles. Jerry, thank you for co-hosting with us tonight. We look forward to another one next year. Don't wait this long. If you have something about you want to tell me, let's just go talk about it in the parking lot. And I've got a couple of friends. I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I wish all of you a pleasant evening, safe travels, and Semper Fidelis. Hoorah.